Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela where we help digital nomads, entrepreneurs, expats, investors, travelers, and related internationals. Today, we are going to read an article that is titled Why Venezuela Should Be on Your Travel Bucket List. This article is by Euronews. It was written by a lady called Camille Bello, which is born and raised in Venezuela. So let's check out what she has to say. So the article begins like this. Welcome to Venezuela, one of the most beautiful places on earth. I agree. Picture this. You are about to land in Maiquetía, the country's main international airport. From your window, you see the Caribbean Sea and a massive rainforest mountain, we call it El Ávila, separating the capital Caracas from the sea. After an awkward immigration passage where the agents suggest there was not an existing problem, you manage to pass through. You are outside of the airport doors, it is warm, the sky is remarkably blue, traffic is noisy, and you can smell the sea. People smile at you. You are in La Guaira, Venezuela's main airport, 25 minutes away from Caracas. You never expect to enjoy mere weather so much. My name is Camille and I'm your Venezuelan tour guide. I was born in Caracas in 1994 and grew up between the country and the city. I love culture, music and food, but nature the most. Today I live in France and I am a journalist from Euronews. You are in for a memorable voyage. Okay, first of all, we have to be clear that Camille is certainly a very talented writer. However, by her age, she's fairly young still, not even 30 years old. And also, I don't think she's very economics keen. And by what I'm seeing on her resume, she's been outside of Venezuela for many years. The situation in Venezuela changes and mutates year around. Good thing now is that the situation is been changing for good on the past couple of years. So maybe Camille is not the most informed person to give you how is the situation right now, on the spot right now in Venezuela. However, I found this article particularly interesting, so let's keep reading. Why you should go to Venezuela? Glad you asked. Summer rains year round in Venezuela. Say that all the time. Pristine beaches, virgin rainforest, and the world's highest waterfall wait to be discovered. Delicious tropical fruit juice accompanies every meal I have. People are cheery and kind-hearted. Colorful macaw birds are the capital's collective pet. People who thrive in big cities will love Caracas, and those who fantasize about Latin America will find the colors and flavors they are looking for here. We have a rich and architectural heritage and are recognized for our vast array of ecosystems. Travelers will be dazzled by the country's mega diverse natural landscape. So I'm going to stop here and I'm going to explain something. Many people go crazy about this ecotourism. This is particularly not my cup of tea. If you are looking for ecotourism, especially in Latin America, Venezuela, of course, can satisfy that. However, Venezuela is way much than that, is way developed than that. For whatever the reason, for whatever you listen, some information, either good or bad, Venezuela is more than that. So I just wanted to let you guys know that aspect. Let's keep reading. Our cuisine is also widely celebrated. Our gastronomical identity comes from the indigenous culture in Venezuela, but it is greatly influenced by European migration during the times of colonization and after the European wars. Of course, we had a lot of European migrants during the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s, mostly from Portugal, Spain, Italy, Germany, among others. The country is breathtaking, and there is so much to discover, so let's continue. The best way to travel around Venezuela. Because of the political and economic context of Venezuela, crime is rife and it can hit anyone, poor and rich, foreigners and locals. However, because of the economic crisis, it's those with money who are the biggest target. Sadly, travelers are usually feel under this category. But it's a shame to see Venezuela's splendor go to waste. So the best and only way I will advise discovering the country is to do it with a local and a car. If you don't know anyone, it is fundamental that you contact a travel agency to guide you to your trip and ensure your security at all times. Okay, this is one of the things that I disagree the most. Venezuela, of course, is not the most safe place on the world, or Latin America for that matter. However, it's not that different from, let's say, Mexico or Brazil or Colombia, for that matter, or many of the countries in Latin America. So if you've done all of these things in such countries, you can do it in Venezuela as well. However, like I said all the time, know what you're doing. And many foreigners, especially from Western economies like the US, UK, you name it, they are, on my experience, pretty careless and they don't know what you're doing. So that's why I always suggest to get better informed. What are the travel restrictions for Venezuela? All travelers entering Venezuela must have a negative COVID-19 PCR test performed within 48 hours of boarding their incoming flight. An additional PCR test will be done at the port of entry. This PCR test costs $60 and must be paid cash. If you tested positive for COVID-19, you will be required to quarantine. The public health service in Venezuela is seriously damaged and should not be trusted. Unfortunately, it is imperative to travel with international travel insurance, especially now in the time of the pandemic. The Venezuelan government has recently implemented a 7x7 scheme throughout the country, in which restrictive measures alternate with relaxation measures for periods of 7 days without affecting international flights. Cross-regional traveling during the restricted weeks is prohibited. Banks close and many of the stores do too. However, these measures have been suspended until January. So many things to cover here. First, travel insurance is a must to any international destination regarding the economic situation. Second, the public system in Venezuela is terrible. I agree on that. However, the private healthcare institutions, the private healthcare service providers, they work pretty fine and they are inexpensive fairly compared to the US, to Canada, and most of these other places. The second thing that I want to say is the 7x7. The 7x7 rule was implemented late mids of 2020 until the mids of 2021. Basically, what it meant was that during 7 days, it was all the lockdown that we had in pretty much every country, and the other 7 days, it was more carefree stuff. You can go out and travel, and you know. These 7x7 measurements have been abolished, so you won't have a problem with that. And the last part is that I want to specify is about this CPR, this PCR test. Yes, you do until not much ago, you require 2 PCRs, one before you arrive and one where after you arrive, and the cost was $60. One of those has been eliminated, the one before you arrive, and the second one actually is already charged on your plane ticket in most cases, not always, so bring the $60. However, now we are in conversations where it should be eliminated on the next, let's say, 2 or 3 months. So the other thing is important, maybe have your vaccination card if you have it. If you don't, you're probably gonna need the PCR test. Okay, when you should visit Venezuela? We are blessed with a climate that has little variation across the year and is characterized by 2 periods. A dry season, a dry one, from November to April, and a rainy one, from May to October. But believe me, we are in November when I'm filming this and still rainy season. So let's continue. However, it is warm year-round, agree, and beach days are possible from January till December. Yeah, I'm a beach guy. Free mangoes fall from the skies from April to September. Well, if you are a mango enthusiast, yes, you're gonna love Venezuela. We have mangoes everywhere. So there you have it, and the article is actually pretty interesting. Things have changed since the last, actualization, this update of this article. So hope you enjoy it. The article is actually longer, so we're gonna do a second video talking about that. So thank you again for watching, and please subscribe to the channel.